There was once a well-known doctor who had built a successful career in a big city. One day, he was awarded a prestigious national honor for his medical contributions. He then organized a celebratory gathering at a five-star hotel. The guest list included top professionals, politicians, and celebrities. But amidst all the grandeur, he also sent an invitation to an old friend from his medical college days, a man who had taken a different path. This old friend wasn't wealthy, wasn't well-known. In fact, he ran a small rural clinic in a village far from the city lights. He barely earned enough to make ends meet, but he had always served his community with commitment. The doctor thought, he may not be famous, but he's part of my journey. I want him there. The old friend arrived at the event, dressed in a simple shirt and well-worn shoes, carrying a small potted plant as a gift. "It's medicinal," he said with a shy smile. "Useful more than pretty." The party buzzed with laughter, cameras flashed, and high-end wines flowed. Everything was perfect, until suddenly the doctor realized his gold medal, the one he'd been awarded earlier that day, was missing. Panic set in. It had been pinned to his suit during the ceremony, and now it was gone. "I must have dropped it somewhere," he said nervously. Staff were called. The guests started helping search the hall. They looked under tables, behind the stage, even in flower arrangements. But there was no trace of the medal. Then someone whispered, "Maybe it wasn't dropped." A senior guest, a high-ranking official, said aloud, "If it's not found, it's only fair that everyone is checked. I'm sure none of us would steal, but let's remove all doubt." There was murmuring, but many guests nodded. "Yes, check us. We don't mind. We've got nothing to hide." The doctor hesitated. "I trust you all, but if everyone agrees..." One by one, the guests allowed their bags and pockets to be checked. Smiles, chuckles. It all seemed routine, until they reached the village doctor. "I'm sorry," he said quietly, "but I won't let you search me." Everyone turned toward him. "Why not?" someone asked, eyebrows raised. The whispers began. "Strange. Why wouldn't he? People like him. You never know." The village doctor stood still, his eyes downcast. He didn't argue. He didn't defend. He just said, "If you doubt me, then perhaps I shouldn't have come." That night, the celebration ended in awkward silence. The guests left, and the doctor, disheartened, returned to his suite. As he took off his suit, he felt a bulge in a hidden fold of the fabric. Reaching in, his fingers touched the familiar shape of the gold medal. It had slipped inside during the ceremony. He stood there, stunned, not with relief, but with shame. "I doubted a man who once shared his last meal with me in college," he thought. "He helped me study when I was about to give up. And tonight, I allowed others to humiliate him." The next morning, the doctor didn't go to his clinic. He drove straight out of the city, into the countryside, and stopped at the modest little clinic with peeling paint and a faded sign. His friend came out, surprised to see him. The doctor didn't speak. He stepped forward and embraced him. "I found the medal," he whispered. "It was in my own coat. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." The village doctor gave a tired smile. "It's all right. You found it. That's what matters." "No," the doctor said. "Something else still bothers me. You knew you didn't take it. Why didn't you just let them check you?" The village doctor turned and motioned him inside. They walked into a small back room where a frail woman lay on a cot. She was sleeping, wrapped in a thin blanket. An oxygen cylinder stood beside her. "My wife," he said softly. "She's been battling lung disease for years. She's everything to me." He looked away for a moment, then continued. "Before I came to your party," she said, I'd love to taste a pastry from a real city bakery one day. Something small, something sweet. His voice trembled. So when I saw the dessert table last night, I slipped a small pastry into my coat pocket. Just one. I couldn't afford anything from there. But I thought, it might bring her some joy. He sighed. If they'd searched me, they wouldn't have found your medal, but they would have found that pastry. And I would have had to explain, in front of all those people, about her illness, about my helplessness. And I didn't want to stand there as a man caught stealing a dessert, trying to prove it was just an act of love. So I kept quiet. The doctor stood speechless. Tears welled up in his eyes. He reached into his bag and pulled out a box, filled with the finest pastries from the city, and placed it gently on the table. From now on, he said, his voice breaking, no more stolen pastries. I'll make sure she gets everything she needs. And so will you. This story reminds us, trust is a delicate bond, easily broken, slowly rebuilt. We are quick to doubt those who seem to have less, forgetting that sometimes the richest hearts beat in the quietest homes. A stolen sweet, a hidden pain, a silent sacrifice, all can be misunderstood in a world obsessed with appearances. The man who didn't speak up didn't do so out of guilt, but out of love, pride, and a desire to protect the dignity of someone who depended on him. In a room full of prestige, one pastry told a greater story than any gold medal ever could. Never let suspicion take the place of friendship, because some wounds, though forgiven, leave scars that never fade. So, believe, grow, and inspire. Nothing can stop you. This story is to fuel your day. Thank you so much for watching, and stay blessed.